Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. Your source for Ford news, update, and information, including your scheduling information today. As on Tuesdays, we always cover what is the scheduling information that we have for people that have orders placed that are trying to get scheduled for a production date. And this is for those orders that are being scheduled for Thursday, January 29th. 2026. And so these notes are for this week and this week only. Every week it can change and adapt and adjust. So let's go through this. So if you like videos like this or some of our other videos, make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our other videos. But let's jump into this. But first, what I want to do is, if you're new to this, we're going to cover the different terminologies of what we're talking about. Some of the different terminologies that we use in this that are almost like slang for us in the dealership. But that way, you know, kind of what do those mean when I talk about those. So if you're new to this, then check us out and we'll cover this. For those of that aren't, check the timestamps, move forward to the model you're looking for. Now, on this, what we're talking about here is when orders are scheduled. Those orders are, or I should say, when people put deal orders in, they're put in the order bank, and that is where dealer places all their stock and their retail orders. Now, retail order, that is a customer placed order. That is, Ford knows that is going to be a sold order for that dealer for a particular customer that ordered it. Now, a stock order, that is an order that's placed by the dealer for their stock or their lot inventory, what they would have on their lots. The priority code, that's a priority that's given to orders by the dealers. So 03 through 19 is a retail order type, and 20 to 80 is a stock order type. Now, the lower the better, which is why retail orders are always looked at first, and an 03 will be looked at before a 19. Now, 19 is a default for retails, and 20 is a default for stock. Scheduling, that is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in future months. So that's kind of what we're talking about in this video. So production date, that is when Ford plans to build your vehicle. And first it'll get scheduled to the week, and as it gets closer, it'll get scheduled to the actual day. Now, allocations, that's a big one. Allocations is where Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. A dealer needs an allocation to get an order scheduled in the order bank. So a dealer earns those allocations based on their sales of each model within their region. So if a dealer doesn't have an allocation, they can't get an order scheduled. Just have an order in there is not good enough. Now, constraints, that's an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build. And that could be based on the next one, which is the capacity. That is the planned production rate of a given motor, trim, or option. So when the amount of orders is over the capacity, that's where we get that constraint where it might take longer to get scheduled or longer to build for that reason. Now, job 1 and 2, production does get split into different job runs. If they want a particular, maybe there's a cool feature or something they want to add, and it's not ready at the beginning of the model year, they'll go ahead and start it with job 1s and then reintroduce those into job 2. Or if they get a supply issue where they can't make something, they can make those changes for the second half of the year, and that's when you'll see that job 2 changes. Balance out, that's the end of production, or what they call the balance out a particular option or model usually we see that balance out at the end of a certain model year before switching over to the next model year. So now that we've kind of covered that, let's jump in here and talk about the 26 model year Mustang. So the 2026 Mustang, the order banks are open up for the Mustang. This week, they are not scheduling at Flat Rock Assembly Plant, so no scheduling for the Mustang for this week. Next up is the 26 model year Bronco Sport. Order banks are open up for the Bronco Sport. They just started production real recently, and this week they are not scheduling. They pretty much already scheduled out their March production dates, so they do not need to schedule this week. All right, next up is the 26 model year Bronco. Order banks are open up for the Bronco as well, and they are scheduled this week. This is cleanup scheduling. Again, cleanup scheduling basically means that if you have a dealer that has an allocation, they want to clean up the allocation, make sure all their allocations are used, and they get scheduled for those stock orders if they don't have a retail order. So for that reason, they want to clean that up. They are scheduled for the weeks of March 2nd to the weeks of March 23rd. Some notes in here for that is not to forget that beadlock capable forged wheel for the Raptor. That wheel is That's the optional wheel for the Raptor, also included in the Raptor Code Orange appearance package, and the black appearance package for that. That won't be available until further notice. So we talked about that last week as well. Also, the 60th anniversary package with the Wimbledon white paint won't be selected for scheduling until further notice. So if you have a 60th anniversary with the red, you're good. If you have the white, then it will not get scheduled right now. So you're on a hold pattern at this point. All right, next up is the 26 model year Mustang Mach-E. Order banks are open up for them, and this week they are not scheduling as well. It looks like they've already scheduled out all of the production for March already. All right, next up, 26 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up for the Explorer. They are scheduled this week. Cleanup scheduling as well for the Explorer. That means they want to clean up any allocations. Now, they were scheduling for 6 weeks of production because they are, I think, trying to finish out job one. They're scheduled for the weeks of March 2nd to the weeks of April 6th. And it does say in here to increase scheduling probability for active version, we recommend adding the active comfort package. And this is mainly for dealers that are needing stock allocations used or stock orders. Also, to increase scheduling probability for platinum version 4x4 or the four-wheel drive, we recommend adding the 21-inch bright machine aluminum with the tarnished dark pocket wheels. That's a wheel option 64D. It does say in here exhaust availability for the ST version, as well as the 21-inch magnetite painted aluminum wheel that's standard on ST version, which is probably why it's exhausted, and also included in the ST line street package. So if you're looking at that as well, that is going to be hard to get scheduled this week. All right, next up, 26 model year Expedition. Order banks are open up for the Expedition. Again, they are not scheduled this week. Looks like they scheduled out all of their March production already and don't need to schedule this week. Next up, 26 model year Maverick. Order banks are open up for the Maverick. And probably one of the first times I've seen this, but they are not scheduled this week as well. So it looks like they've already scheduled out all of the March production that they need. And they are in a hold pattern until when they are ready to start scheduling for April. Next up is the 26 model year Ranger. Order banks are open up for the Ranger. And just like with a lot of the other ones, they are not scheduling this week as well. So again, that probably means that they've already scheduled out all the production that they can handle for March already. And at this point, waiting until dealers get new sets of allocation, probably next week or the week after. All right, next up is a 26 model year Super Duty. Order banks are open up for the Super Duty. They are scheduled this week. Super Duty and F-150 schedule almost every week. They try to schedule out dealers' allocations in that way, and sometimes even roll those allocations to the next week or next month if they need to. They are scheduled for the weeks of February 16th through the weeks of March 9th. And does say limited availability for the F450, also the Lariat Premium Package, and the Lariat Ultimate Package, the Pickup Box Delete, the fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package, the 20-inch chrome aluminum wheel that is included on the chrome package for the single rear wheels. That's option package option 17C. Also, it does say in here Max Recline seats, also limited availability. And lastly, your super cab configurations for F250 and F350 single rear wheel. So that X2A, X3A, X2B, and X3B prep code for that. So your 148-inch wheelbase, basically. So there you go. All right, next up is a 26 model year F-150. The order banks are open up for the F-150. Just like Super Duty, they schedule multiple weeks for that and don't schedule all of a dealer's allocations at once. For that reason, they are scheduled for the weeks of March 2nd to the weeks of March 30th. In here, notes in here, non-Raptor, Raptor R, and Raptor base orders were created this past weekend for dealers because evidently they didn't have retail orders, so they needed to put those in there to fulfill their allocations. Does say, don't forget, 250 state emissions is not required for on the F-150 with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost orders for California, Washington, Oregon, Massachusetts, Vermont, or New York. So there you go. Limited availability for the 5.0 liter V8 engine. Also for the 18-inch painted aluminum wheel that's standard on 300A 4x4s and included in XLT, 301A, 302A, standard on Lariat base 500A. 18-inch gloss black wheels also limited. That's included in the black appearance package, standard on STX 200B as well. And then also the all-terrain tire that's standard on XL 4x4s also is a limited availability. Heads-up display as well, and your electronic locking axles. There'd be axle codes XL3, XL9, XL6, and XL4. You might look at your orders on that to know which ones are affected by that. So again, limited availability doesn't mean it doesn't have a chance. It's just going to be difficult, right, to get it scheduled because they only have so much that they can schedule. All right, next up and lastly is the 26 model year Transit. Order banks are open up for the Transit. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of February 23rd through the weeks of March 16th. Only two constraints in here. It says a 16-inch matte black alloy wheel, 64G, and the 16-inch sparkle silver alloy wheel, 64K, are exhausted. The alternative wheel is the silver steel wheel option 641. The other one is a 16-inch heavy-duty forged aluminum wheel, 76G, is exhausted. The alternative wheel is a 16-inch heavy-duty silver steel wheel with the silver hubcaps and exposed lug nuts, wheel option 64F for that. So there you go. So that's all of our scheduling information for this week. Good luck to everybody. Hope you got scheduled. And we're kind of at to the point where the dealers have used most of our allocations except for Super Duty and F-150 and Transit. And at this point, we're kind of in a waiting. We just learned more information about wholesale today that we'll go through allocations sometime this week. So we probably won't see next week will not probably be the first week for scheduling for those April production dates. It's probably going to be the week after that. So next week's going to probably look similar to this, where it's only going to schedule F-150 and Super Duty and Transit for the most part. So just expect for that. So if you have an order in waiting to get it scheduled on one of those other models where they're not scheduled this week, more than likely not going to schedule next week, but check back next week and we'll let you know for sure. So until then, make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos as we deliver this great information and news for you. And until next week, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.